Hey, happy day. You know what? I've never had a real job in my life outside of being a milkman. When I was about 16 to 18, 2 years, it was fantastic. A couple of the best years of my life. But other than that, I had to always be self-employed because nobody would hire me. But look at me, I'm old and all of a sudden I'm in demand. IHOP, they're all over me. They want me to come and work for them and I get it. Look what I did for Valentine's Day. Ho, who knew? Pancakes and Jello. Well, seems to go together as far as I know at least. Hey, it was a happy day on Valentine's Day, just saying. All of you people who have contacted us with regard to having a chat online with Zoom with me, thanks. I gotta tell you, it's been overwhelming and I've been doing it every day for the last several days and it's great fun. There's a bunch of takeaway. I'm learning stuff from people and stuff that I can use on this show to kind of share wisdom. It's not just my wisdom, you know, it's everybody's wisdom. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of responses and I didn't expect that because I'm so used to talking to myself that I didn't think anybody would really want to talk to me. So I'm only going to do several people, talk with several people. I was initially going to do 5, one a day for Monday to Friday. I'm now going to do it 20 times for 20 days. And the gal in our office, Caitlin, she's contacting people and selecting people, I guess. And all of you people who weren't selected, hey, I'm sorry, maybe some other day we can chat next time around. I think we'll have maybe 6 or 8 people on the line at one time, whereas now I'm doing one-on-one. And I love it. I really do. You people are much smarter than me, and thanks for giving me all that reminder stuff that I can use on this program. That's that. On now to the great purge. There is a purge. You know what? Companies are being threatened to not hire former Trump staffers and loyalists. Talk about a cancel culture. Not good. Hey, if you ever work for him, we can't have you around. Bad stuff. I mean, that is the left way. Let's get rid of everything that's right. It's Hitler did that. So many other leaders in the past have done that, and they just keep on being themselves, and it's not very nice. Now we jump over to Minneapolis. This is kind of interesting. There's a push there to defend police backfires. You know what? Or to defund the police. It has backfired after residents have complained and said, hey, we defunded the police. We wanted you to do that. You did it. Thank you very much. And now we got issues because people are coming and they're robbing us. Imagine that, huh? There's 200 fewer policemen now than there used to be. And bad guys are, what do you think? Of course, there's a big sign, no police here, and people don't have guns because they're Democrats, so we're gonna rob you. Of course they're gonna rob you. What do you expect, right? And I have got a good idea though. Rather than spending an additional $6.5 million, Minneapolis, to kind of beef it back up to where it was, why don't you just give the money to gun shops, buy guns and distribute all the handguns to the people and say, y'all didn't want policemen, so y'all should look after yourself and we'll help you. We're gonna give you a free gun, boomity, boomity, boom, boom. Look after your family. You should be the first responder anyway. I'm not in favor necessarily of defunding police unless there's too many, but certainly, you know, y'all got to kind of look at that stuff. Now let me jump over to the greatest resource that we have, that you have and that I have, and that of course would be children, our children. Hold it, your children are being abused. Truly, your children are being abused and you get to pay for it. If you're a taxpayer, you get to pay for that abuse of your children. Schools are closed, suicides are up. You know, it's soared. The suicide rates. Children are unhappy, and the collapse of the school system really is the collapse of common sense. I mean, there's a way to safely open public schools. Casinos. They figured it out. They're open again. You know, maybe it's dumb to gamble. So maybe that's the Democrat way, is to make kids so dumb by not having school that they're all going to gamble. I don't know, but it's just wrong. There is a way to safely open the schools, and you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. You sit around a table and say, here's what we're going to do. And the unions are the big issue, unions and government, of course, but particularly unions, they're saying until there is a vaccine, we won't allow any teachers to go back into the classroom. Very, very bad. Now, let's talk a little bit about electric cars. Bzzz. Electric stuff, right? I mean, houses, for instance, I think you need to have a 75 amp service if you're going to have an electric car full time, right? And the average house is equipped with a 100 amp service. So you have to change your electrical infrastructure. And at the moment, with the infrastructure that does exist, 2, maybe 3 houses in your entire block can handle the of a car, okay? So you're going to have an overload pretty soon. You have to renovate and recreate your entire delivery system. And then when you do that, which will be very expensive, you put a lot of people out of work from the fossil fuel end of it. You haven't saved the environment particularly. People think it'll be less money, it'll be cheaper. That's not accurate, because the government has to take their taxes that they have now on gasoline and put them somewhere, maybe increase them, because that's what they're about, right? The left-wing people, and we seem to be governed by them these days, so they're going to pick it up and move it over to the electric cars. So, you know what? It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Now, let me tell you about Canada. They have offered support for a new international declaration denouncing state-sponsored arbitrary detention of foreign nationalists. Have you got that? That's mostly driven because there's a couple of Canadian people that have been detained in China for more than 2 years. Now, this is the same government in Canada that's also saying, oh, you Canadian people, when you come back to this country, your country, Canada, we're going to detain you. We're going to detain you, and we're going to put you in a Radisson hotel. Guess what? Radisson hotels, I think, are owned by this state, by the Chinese government, the communist government. So hang on here now. That's just more people to get detained by China. The Prime Minister of Canada, he loves dictatorship, and he loves the Chinese and their way of government. So, you know what? The Canadians now are going to be detained by Chinese, whether they're at home in their country or whether they go to China. What's up with that? I mean, wow. Lastly, I got some last piece of big news for you here. You got a Democrat in California. Of course, you got to be from California to be this dumb. His name is Swalwell. Anyway, he's calling witnesses now, or said, if I call witnesses, I'll get it right. It wouldn't have changed the Republicans' mind on voting to acquit Trump on the charge for enticing the riots, right? Even if the witnesses were God herself. Moron. God. He is a Republican. Just saying, y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.